Sensory Processing Part 2. In Part 1, we uncovered the different senses that we have and their functions and how they need to work together for our bodies to function adequately. In Part 2, we will be uncovering sensory processing disorder. We talked about our bodies being in perfect harmony to function. Now imagine if all the inputs you were receiving were of similar intensity or magnitude. Your brain isn't able to drown out the unnecessary information you are receiving, and all the information you're receiving seems to be very important to your brain. Will you be able to concentrate? Or imagine the inputs are so less that your brain is hardly registering what you just felt or saw. Would you be able to focus then? This is part of what a child with SPD, sensory processing disorder, goes through. It is more common than we are aware of. If we think deeply with more examples, you'd probably recognize areas where you have sensory processing issues. It would be safe to say that in some way or the other, we all struggle with it to varying degrees. However, a child or person is diagnosed with SPD when it comes in the way of their functions and doing tasks on a daily basis. And it's important to identify it. The earlier, the better. So what does a child with SPD, sensory processing disorder, struggle with? In some individuals, the brain has trouble processing and responding to information from the senses. This may over-heighten a particular sense or senses, or lessen the information received by a particular sense or senses. Let's look at examples. Example 1. A child may cry bitterly or appear to throw tantrums when getting his nails clipped or hair trimmed. A certain texture of clothing can cause excessive discomfort. Example 2. A child may experience a diminished sense of hearing, even though all the test reports seem to be normal. What's happening in the first example is the child has a heightened sense of touch. Even a little or slight touch can cause an overreaction. Whereas in the second example, the child's sense of hearing seems to be diminished. An input or a voice is not detected by the auditory sense. A child with SPD put this forth really well. Imagine a medium-sized teapot. Now imagine a medium-sized teapot pouring tea into a medium-sized cup. Once the cup is filled to its brim, it is full. Whereas imagine the same amount of tea is poured into a small, tiny cup. In this case, the tea begins to overflow. Its threshold was less. It didn't need that much tea. This cup can be metaphorically used for a child with oversensitivity to stimulations from certain senses. Now imagine the same amount of tea is poured into a large cup. This cup is not filled to the brim. It needs more tea. This cup can be metaphorically used for a child with undersensitivity to stimulations from certain senses. SPD manifests itself through clumsiness, attention-related issues, hyperactivity, low tone, tiredness or fatigue, oversensitivity or undersensitivity to certain stimulations like sound or touch, walking on tippy toes, aversion to certain textures or food, uncomfortable people too close, like when standing in a queue or visiting crowded places. A child with SPD can be aided. The idea is to sensitize or desensitize the senses. Most of what is noticed is symptoms. However, a professional occupational therapist is able to go deeper to the root sense and work on that. SPD does not vanish. The child develops mechanisms to cope and adjust to the environment. There are plenty of adults with SPD doing just fine. However, they can be quite misunderstood as kids by their parents, teachers, and friends. They may be termed difficult, annoying, weird, and that's a hard place to be in as a child. As parents, we may not always be able to fix our child's problems, although we so desperately want to, but we can give them our listening ear. Observe and try to understand them, because that is the first step of identifying their need. No matter what issues they may have, they are first and foremost our child, the one we love. It is important that we communicate that to them. It will go a long way. A tool to help understand your child better is to remember OWL, OWL. Observe, wait for them to respond, and listen, which is basically interpreting what their response meant. Thank you for watching our video. I hope you found it meaningful. If you have any questions, write to us on the playdatecommunity@gmail.com or comment in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you found this video meaningful, kindly like it, subscribe to our channel, and share it with a friend who might need to hear this.